Have you ever wondered if there's a way to discipline your child that not only corrects behavior, but also nurtures their spirit? As we journey through parenthood, we often find ourselves at crossroads. How do we guide our children, correcting their missteps without stifling their growth or dampening their spirits? But before we get started, subscribe, like, and turn on the notifications so you'll know when Motivate and Inspire channel publishes another video. Now back to our video. Today we delve into an age-old guide, the Bible, seeking wisdom on child discipline. We will explore how biblical teachings can shape our approach to discipline, molding it into an act of love that nurtures rather than suppresses. Imagine a form of discipline that doesn't just instruct, but also builds character, instills values, and fosters a sense of responsibility. A discipline that, while steering your child towards the right path, also strengthens your bond with them. Sounds too good to be true? Well, it's not only possible, but also within your grasp. Stay tuned as we explore the top 10 tips on how to discipline your child in a way that aligns with biblical teachings. Tip number 1, remember that love is the foundation. Now, this might seem obvious to some, but it's worth emphasizing. Discipline isn't about control or suppression, it's about expressing love and care. You see, when we discipline out of love, it's not about punishing mistakes, but about guiding our children towards better choices. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 12, "For whom the Lord loves, he corrects." It's a clear message that discipline is an act of love, a way to show our children we care enough to guide them on the right path. So, let's not forget, discipline without love is just noise. It's like a bell without a clapper, making no sound. But when discipline is grounded in love, it becomes a tool for guidance rather than punishment. And that's the first step towards raising a child who understands the difference between right and wrong. Tip number 2, consistency is key. Now, when it comes to disciplining your child, consistency is critical. It might seem easier to let things slide now and then, but inconsistency can lead to confusion. If children are unsure about what's expected of them, or if the consequences for their actions keep changing, they might struggle to understand right from wrong. Consistency in discipline means setting clear rules and sticking to them. It's about teaching your child that actions have consequences, and those consequences don't change based on a whim. This isn't about being harsh or inflexible, but about providing a stable and predictable environment. When children know what to expect, they feel more secure. They understand the boundaries and know what will happen if they cross them. This understanding gives them the freedom to explore within those boundaries, to learn and grow. Consistent discipline provides a clear framework for children to grow and thrive. Our third tip is about setting clear expectations. You see, when we set clear and attainable expectations for our children, we are essentially crafting a roadmap for them to follow. This roadmap not only guides their behavior, but also helps them understand the difference between right and wrong. Imagine you're driving in an unknown city without a GPS or a map. You'd probably feel lost and confused, right? That's exactly how children feel when they don't have clear expectations to guide their behavior. By setting expectations, we provide that crucial guidance. We help them understand what is acceptable and what's not, what's encouraged and what's discouraged. This clarity helps them make better decisions and fosters a sense of responsibility. Remember, these expectations should be realistic and age-appropriate. It's not about setting a high bar for them to cross, but creating a clear path for them to follow. Clear expectations give children a roadmap to good behavior. Tip number 4, use positive reinforcement. Now, this is a powerful tool in your discipline toolkit. Positive reinforcement is all about encouraging good behavior by rewarding it. It's like sowing seeds in a garden. When you water and tend to the seeds, they flourish into beautiful plants. Similarly, when you acknowledge and reward your child's good behavior, you're nurturing those positive actions to bloom. It's easy to focus on the negatives, to point out when your child does something wrong. But let's remember, everyone, especially children, respond better to encouragement than criticism. So, when your child does something commendable, let them know. Praise them, show appreciation. This creates an atmosphere of positivity and motivates them to repeat those good actions. Remember, our aim is to guide our children into becoming the best they can be. And positive reinforcement is a wonderful way of doing just that. Positive reinforcement is a powerful tool in nurturing good behavior. Our fifth tip, teach through natural consequences. You see, natural consequences are the organic outcomes that arise from our actions. They're the universe's way of teaching us about cause and effect, action and reaction. Now, when it comes to raising children, we can leverage these natural consequences as powerful teaching tools. For instance, if a child leaves their bike out in the rain and it rusts, they've learned a valuable lesson about the importance of taking care of their belongings. Of course, it's crucial to ensure that these consequences are safe and appropriate. We're not talking about dangerous situations, but rather those everyday choices and their repercussions. By allowing children to experience these natural outcomes, we're equipping them with the tools they need to become responsible adults. We're teaching them that their actions have consequences and that they have the power to influence the outcome through their decisions. Natural consequences help children learn from their own actions. Tip number 6, be a role model. It's a simple statement, but it carries a world of responsibility. You see, children are like sponges, soaking up every bit of knowledge they can get their hands on. And who do they learn from the most? That's right, us adults. Being a role model isn't just about being good at what you do, it's about living a life that you'd want your children to emulate. It's about showing kindness, patience, and love in all your interactions. It's about taking responsibility for your mistakes and making amends. It's about striving for excellence, not just in the big things, but in the little things too. Remember, your actions speak louder than words. When you live a life worth emulating, your child will naturally want to follow in your footsteps. They'll learn by observing your behavior, and this in turn will help shape their character. Being a role model is one of the most effective ways to teach good behavior. Our 7th tip, communicate effectively. Now, communication isn't just about talking, it's a two-way street. It involves understanding your child and ensuring they understand you. Think about it. How can we expect our children to follow our guidance if they don't grasp what we're saying? Or worse, if they feel they can't express their feelings to us? Effective communication isn't just about clear instructions, it's about active listening too. It's hearing the unspoken words, reading the emotions behind the words, and responding with love and patience. Remember, the goal of discipline isn't punishment, it's teaching, and effective teaching requires effective communication. It helps your child learn from their mistakes, understand their actions' consequences, and grow into a responsible adult. As the good book says, let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Colossians 4:6. Effective communication bridges the gap between misunderstanding and clarity. Tip number 8. Show empathy and understanding. In the realm of discipline, it's pivotal to remember that your child is learning and growing, just as you are. They're navigating the world for the first time, and it's an intimidating task. As parents, we need to approach them with an open heart and an understanding mind. Showing empathy means putting ourselves in their little shoes. It's about recognizing their feelings and validating them. This doesn't mean we condone negative behavior, but we understand the emotions that led to it. By doing this, we create a safe space for our children to express themselves. Understanding, on the other hand, is about acknowledging that their experiences are real and valid. It's about listening, really listening to what they're saying and responding with kindness and patience. Doing these two things strengthens the bond between you and your child. It shows them that they're valued, heard, and loved. Empathy and understanding help foster a healthy emotional environment. Our 9th tip, discipline with dignity. This phrase might seem a bit paradoxical, but let me assure you, it's not. When disciplining your child, it's crucial to respect their dignity. You see, children, just like us adults, have a sense of self-worth and self-esteem. When discipline is administered in a way that devalues them or makes them feel lesser, it can harm their self-esteem in the long run. Discipline should never be about shaming or belittling. It should be about teaching. It's about helping your children understand the consequences of their actions, not making them feel worthless for making mistakes. We all make mistakes, don't we? When we discipline with dignity, we create an environment where children feel safe to learn and grow. This approach fosters resilience, empathy, and self-respect in our children. It shows them that even when they mess up, they are still valued and loved. Disciplining with dignity preserves a child's self-esteem, and that, friends, is a gift that will serve them well throughout their lives. Our final tip, pray for wisdom. It's paramount to remember that disciplining our children is not a task we undertake alone. We have the most excellent teacher and guide, our Heavenly Father, to lean on. He is the epitome of wisdom and patience, qualities essential in the journey of nurturing children. The Bible in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5, assures us that if anyone lacks wisdom, they should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to them. This promise is a lifeline for us as parents. It means that when we're uncertain, when we're struggling with tough parenting decisions, we can turn to Him in prayer. Prayer is our direct line to God. It's in these quiet moments of prayer that we can seek His wisdom, His guidance, and His patience. In prayer, we find the wisdom and patience we need to guide our children. So there you have it. The top 10 tips on how to discipline your child in a way that aligns with biblical teachings. We began with the understanding that love is the foundation. Just as the good book states, above all, love each other deeply. And this love is what should guide your actions as you discipline your child. Then we spoke about the importance of consistency. Just as God is consistent with His love and promises, so should you be with your rules and consequences. We also touched on setting clear expectations, teaching your children what is right and wrong, providing guidelines for them to follow. Like the proverb says, train up a child in the way he should go. Next, we discussed the power of positive reinforcement. Just as God rewards righteousness, reward your child for their good behavior, helping them associate positivity with doing what's right. We then delved into teaching through natural consequences. Letting your child experience the consequences of their actions within safe limits can be a powerful teacher, just as life teaches us. Our journey continued with the reminder to be a role model. Our children learn from us, just as we learn from the life of Jesus, so let's embody the virtues we want them to emulate. And who could forget the importance of effective communication? Let your words be filled with love and understanding, just as God's word is for us. We also emphasized showing empathy and understanding. Remember, our children are still learning. Just as God is patient with us, we should be with them. Disciplining with dignity was our 9th point. Just as God respects our free will, respect your child's individuality while guiding them. And finally, we concluded with the reminder to pray for wisdom. As James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Remember, disciplining your child is not just about correcting behavior, but also about nurturing their spirit and guiding their growth. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to subscribe, like, and turn notifications on. Have a blessed day.